All right, thank you all for coming out. At this time, I'm going to open the June regular Board of Supervisors meeting. If we're all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And it ain't been that loud in here in a long time. Mr. Morris?
Bow our heads. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for your many and constant blessings, both big and small. Thank you for the rain that you have blessed us with and your safety and protection during those storms. Thank you for summer and the beautiful weather that we've been having. Thank you for this budget that we'll be voting on tonight and we will prayerfully pass with ease. Thank you for all who are involved with the building of this budget. And a special thank you for Eric, Lord. Thank you for sending him to us. Thank you for what he has brought to this county, especially equipping him and helping him on this budget. Thank you for your blessings. It's so we don't have to raise taxes this year, Lord and Father. Thank you for Team Amelia. Thank you for this meeting and for all are present tonight. Lord, I pray for a good, smooth meeting. I pray for good discussion, wise decision making tonight as we go through tonight's agenda. Thank you for the progress this county is making and for where we are financially. We don't have to look far, Lord, to know that we are blessed compared to others. Lord, I lift up the O'Neill family. They have had a lot of loss in the last few months, and there isn't many locals who don't know who Lanny is and who just passed away last week and all the decades that he has repaired things for this county. Lord, just be with them and anybody else who's lost loved ones recently. And Lord, I just pray for traveling mercies as we head home this evening. That's in His only precious name.
Amen.
So there I get the I think that's slowed up pretty quick. What I got to do with this, and that's already happened essentially. Oh, yeah.
And I just asked him.
Yeah, but we've got to have it for like a week.
I know.
Still, that's got to have it.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. You got the agenda in front of you. Got a couple amendments to the motion. One is what the planning commission just heard is the battery storage project, battery energy storage. That'll be added in under new business. The library wants to give a staff report. They will be under staff committees. And we do need a closed session for 2 issues. And I have added at the end of new business, we'll go into closed session and we'll come out and we'll discuss the county administrator's eval. Does anybody else have any amendments to the agenda as presented?
Move we approve the agenda as amended.
All right, motion on the floor to approve the agenda with the amendments. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. That brings us to the consent agenda. We got some minutes from some work sessions and a regular meeting. And we have a special event permit for Amelia Fright Fest.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
All right, as a block.
Yes, as a block.
All right, motion on the floor to approve the consent agenda as a block. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. No staff recognitions this month. All right, it brings us to our public comment time. Seems like there's a lot of people here tonight that wants to speak. If there's multiple speakers on the same subject, please elect a speaker and let that one speaker speak it. Keep your comments to about 3 minutes and state your name and address when you come up. So I now open the public comment time.
Is that the rule? I'm sorry that people have to elect a person to speak.
Well,
for
it
a
just
group.
seemed like it's a lot of people. I was just,
Is that I don't know. I'm just kind of familiar.
It's always been stated in our board rules.
Okay, no, I was just seeking clarity. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Good evening. My name is Allison Cruz and I appreciate your time here. I just wanted to start with the fact that people do not have to like me to listen to what I have to say. I've always just been a proponent of the truth and of transparency and accountability. So that applies across the board to myself and all of us here. And honestly, I'm glad and thankful that some people don't like me, and you probably know who you are. As a source of revenue for the county, I think all citizens should be paying attention to the relationship waste management has with Amelia County. Dig in. I invite everybody to investigate for yourselves. Rates haven't really changed in 20 years, and I can't think of anything else in our county that is the case for, which makes one wonder. I wish our self-anointed investigative reporter, vlogger, whatever you want to call them for the county, would take a look at that and the landfill in general. So I would also like to just welcome to the Landfill Advisory Committee the new person to hold the seat for District 3. I understand they've been given a board book to look at or a committee book to look at, and I would hope that they would get a tour of the landfill before they took the seat at the table. And I would also like to include, again, everybody here, county council, county attorney, finance, everybody. It impacts us all. Dr. Harper, I mean, like, trash is revenue here, so it deserves to be a part of the conversation. Thank you so much.
thank you, Ms. Cruz.
Mhm.
My name is Eric Burr. I'm at 12554 Genito Road here in Amelia County on District 2. A good evening, Chair and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I would like to begin by expressing my sincere appreciation for your continued service to the Amelia County residents. The time, dedication, and care you bring to your roles are vital to preserving the character and quality of life that makes this community so special. I'm here today to respectfully express my opposition to the proposed throttle therapy motorsports park in neighboring Powhatan County. While I understand the potential economic and recreational interests associated with such a development, I believe the impacts of this project raises serious concerns for our broader regional community, in particular, these bulleted items. Excessive noise from a sports park facility would significantly disrupt the quiet, peaceful environment that residents in this area value and expect. The rural character of our region, defined by open space, tranquility, and agricultural heritage, is something that cannot be easily restored once it's compromised. There is also the important consideration related to the wildlife habitat and wetland preservations, which are vital to maintaining ecological balance and protecting natural resources for future generations. Projects of this nature often bring lasting consequences. Even with mitigation efforts, the level of sustained noise and disruption associated with motorsports activity is fundamentally incomparable for future with a rural setting. It's not ideal situation. It's essential that we continue to prioritize thoughtful growth and land use decisions that respect the existing community, protect our environment, and preserve the integrity of rural life. I urge all citizens of Amelia County to consider these concerns carefully and to advocate where appropriate for protecting the quiet character and natural resources of our region. Please help by attending the Powhatan Planning Commission meeting on July 7th and the Powhatan Board of Supervisors meeting on July 27th. Both located in the Powhatan Village at 3910 Old Buckingham Road in Powhatan. Thank you again for your service and your consideration. I would like to close by playing a sound video from my backyard while throttle therapy was performing a sound decibel test Saturday, June the 20th. I live about 70 foot off the river, beside the Amelia Wildlife. And this proposed project is just directly across the river, 711 acres, and it covers the entire Amelia Wildlife on our side. So I just wanted to play this to you.
This is 6 motorcycles. They got 300. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Just while you're there, I have spoke with the chair of the Board of Supervisors in Powhatan.
Yes, sir.
And it's not, Amelia, that's kind of their deal. I mean, you're welcome to speak here, but we really have no sway one way or the other.
Well,
to their business.
as a community and a neighboring community, we have vital resources and we respect the river. That is a flood zone,
Okay.
and they are compromising the integrity of the river and all the surrounding area in Amelia County. You know, it's not something they want to put 40 campgrounds, 40 sites. I mean, it's 7 days a week. I mean, it's not acceptable to me, and it shouldn't be acceptable to anybody, even in Amelia.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, I'm Teresa Kelly, and I live in District 2 in Powhatan County at 925 River States Court, just across the river. And I know that obviously you all cannot, you don't have any say in it, but the reason I want to speak tonight is because I want the citizens in Amelia to understand what could happen if this goes in, if that park goes in. So I want to echo Eric's sentiments. And my husband and I both also oppose that proposed motorsports park for all the reasons he stated. But the residents need to understand too that it can really affect Amelia. Okay, another concern that they may have is traffic. People traveling from Nottoway, Chesterfield, Farmville, Blackstone, and so many other places to Powhatan, it's going to increase traffic on routes on 360, Chula Road, and Genito Road. Those in the northeastern part of District 2 will be impacted the most. You heard that recording. That was just 6 vehicles. The application states initially they went up to 200 riders, Friday to Sunday and holidays during daylight hours. Then eventually they want it to be 7 days a week. They also want to hold 2 special events per year with up to 500 riders. So we urge the Amelia County citizens, to make your voices heard. We're currently collecting signatures on petitions, and we're asking people to attend those 2 meetings. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and Eric. We're on Facebook. Y'all can reach out to us there. If anybody wants a copy of the cup, then they can reach out to Powhatan Planning, obviously not Amelia. They can reach out to Powhatan Planning Department. And again, Eric and I are available to get that to them too. So thank you for listening, and we appreciate your service to Amelia.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening. I'm Michael F. Whitaker, 12110 Genito Road, 2 miles from where they're talking about. But I'm talking this evening on behalf of the Amelia County Historical Society and Corporation. Just an FYI on about 3 issues. First of all, back in November, December, I had a conference call with Mr. Morris, and I think Mr. Robinson, or it might have been you, concerning the status of Navasine Church. I had thought I would get back in January with you all with a letter, basically discussing that, but it's been tabled by our board for 3 meetings in a row. We won't meet again until September. So essentially the county had offered to help us maintain that place out there. And I think the consensus of the board at this time, by virtue of their tabling it, is that they're satisfied with the status quo. Having said that, we're going to do a structural look at the building, and I think our funds can probably take care of what we face, but you never know. The other thing is 2 heads up. Ever since about December 2003, we've been talking with a number of people about repatriating some of the specimens from the Rutherford mine for the Amelia collection. And I've got one or two contacts that are pretty gung ho about that. Some of these things are pretty valuable. They basically belong to people who collect them in the 50s and 60s, and they're older than I am. So they're not sure that anybody in their estate will really care about that. So we have one benefactor who has suggested he may help us try to repatriate some of these things. Some of them could be potentially very rare. We're finding things lately in the lattices of Clevelandite, little crystals and stuff that have never been found anywhere else in the world, at least two of those. And plus there's some semi-precious stones. Having said all that, if we do this down the road, we may ask to have a display over here in this building so more people can see that kind of stuff, in which case there may be a little bit of security and that kind of thing to go, to go with it. And finally, another heads up, I've been looking at the Jackson building for the last 10 years. I actually got some of the papers for capital improvement stuff. But when I saw the fact that I'd have to compete people to go against that, I let it slide, procrastinate like I usually do. But that basement is getting a little rough down there, especially the waterworks down there. So I envisage shortly perhaps adding the Jackson building as a capital improvement request into the budget. So just FYI type of thing. So and finally on the motorsports park, it may be a good time for Amelia Powhatan to come up with a blue way for the Appomattox. That's usually a volunteer organization, but they take control, or not to take control. They're could be a nonprofit that looks after the river. So that may be one thing to keep in mind as they go forward in Powhatan. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Whitaker. All right, public comment is still open.
We'll go ahead and kick it off. I'm Michael Coward, live at 17110 Appaloosa Court. We're here seeking your blessing to be able to use the fields for in search of new baseball opportunities. So I prepared a little speech for you. So good evening. My name is Michael Coward, and I'm here in search of your blessings to use baseball fields, the county fields for baseball opportunities. For everyone here who doesn't know me, let me give you a little background on myself. I was born and raised in this county. I own a business in this county, went to school in this county, and now I'm currently giving back to this county in many ways. I have coached a large number of our youth in multiple sports, from my start in soccer, to basketball, to volleyball, to baseball, and softball. I have coached many teams without my children even being on the teams. I have been an all-star coach for multiple sports at multiple age groups at the same time for basketball. I was a coach for our 8U all-star team, baseball team last year, who was the runner-up at the World Series. And I'm currently an 8U all-star coach for baseball this season. I say this to say you could say I have something to lose by being the face of this. I'm aware this isn't going to go over well with everyone involved, but I truly feel we need to explore our options. All of us gathered here and many more who are unable to attend are in search of new opportunities than what is currently provided for baseball. And it's currently baseball season. There are 2 games going on over there, so I can promise you I have a lot more. This is not meant to bring anything negative to light. We are only here in search for new opportunities. There is a large number of families who have moved on to play for other leagues in the surrounding counties, several in Powhatan, several in Chesterfield. I even had a coach reach out to me that the majority of his players live in Amelia and play elsewhere. The teenagers in this county currently have nowhere to play either. The current organization doesn't open registrations for anything after 12. We are searching for a place for all of our community to play. We want a place to play where we feel supported. Mr. Glenn Wilkerson has 0 ties to the current baseball organization, yet he made the trek all the way down to the World Series to support our 8U team and to support the 6U team. He attended all but one of our 8U games, and he attended many of the 6U teams. Let's talk about the field situation. The fields we're speaking of are already maintained by the county for starters. So playing more games on them only gives you more return on your investment. There are multiple upgrades recently in place or are already in the works, such as a brand new fence at the elementary school, brand new scoreboards, and a brand new batting cages that are still in the works to be put up. They are already paid for, already bought, they are in the shed. I myself have even offered to volunteer to install these free of charge. More games on these fields mean more concession stand income for Parks and Rec. We've already begun to reach out to multiple local businesses, and multiple are willing to help get this new league off to a great start. Again, I say this to say we are not out to make this a negative thing towards the current organization. We would just like a place for all of our parents to have an option for what they think is best for their children. We are just asking for your blessing today to use the fields. Then I can continue talks with the multiple leagues who have offered baseball for our great youth in this county. If you have any questions on my integrity, I invite you to have a conversation with Mr. Wilkerson. At this point in my life, that man knows me more than my wife. Thank you for your time. And let's celebrate the freedoms of this great country on its 250th birthday by offering a place of freedom for all of our parents to have a choice to play where they want to play.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Chairman, members of the board, and County Administrator. My name is Avery Goff, and I am a resident of 11600 Huntington Church Lane. I'm here tonight to speak in support of Amelia Diamond Youth Baseball. Baseball has been a big part of my family's life for generations. My grandfather, Buck Goff, has sponsored Amelia Diamond Youth Baseball for more than 40 years. My father, Clark Goff, has been a sponsor for more than 20 years. And today, my brother and I are proud sponsors as well. This program has served the youth of Amelia County for over 50 years and helped shape me into the man I am today. Through Diamond Youth Baseball, I learned responsibility, teamwork, discipline, and sportsmanship, and the value of working towards a common goal. Those lessons have stayed with me long after my playing days ended. My concern is for the next generation of young athletes. I would hate to see future children lose the same opportunity that I was fortunate enough to have because of the concerns of a small group of people. For decades, this program has successfully operated through private support and community involvement. I do not believe county taxpayers should be asked to fund something that has operated successfully for decades without relying on tax dollars. One of the biggest concerns I hear in this community is the rising cost of taxes. If we already have an organization that has proven record of success, why create an additional burden for taxpayers? Amelia Diamond Youth Baseball has consistently provided opportunities for local children while remaining financially supported by those who believe in its mission. I believe that success should be preserved and not replaced. My father, Clark Goff, and Uncle Darrell Goff served as co-commissioners for several years and dedicated countless hours to making this program successful. During its history, Amelia Diamond Youth baseball teams have won district and state championships, and even reached the highest level of competition, including winning a World Series championship. Those accomplishments reflect the strength of this organization and the people who have built it. Most importantly, this program is about the kids. It gives them a place to learn, compete, build friendships, and develop life skills that will benefit them for years to come. Its value cannot be measured only by championships, but by the generations of young people who have carried those life lessons into adulthood. I respectfully ask the board to consider this history, success, and positive impact of Amelia Diamond Youth Baseball before we make any changes. If something has served our community well for more than 50 years and continues to provide opportunity for our children, I believe it deserves your support. Please do not take away from future generations the same opportunities that shape so many of us sitting in this room today. Amelia Diamond Youth Baseball is more than a baseball league. It's a tradition, a community, and a source of pride for Amelia County. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, sir.
How y'all doing today? I'm Will Dunford, live at 6912 Richmond Road, Amelia, Virginia. I'm here to speak on behalf of both Diamond Youth Baseball and a projected new league. I grew up playing baseball in Chesterfield, moved to Amelia High when I was in high school. I didn't get the effects of what's now Diamond Youth Baseball. I played in multiple leagues for Chesterfield at the same time. I played in very different variations of different counties. What we want to do is we're not trying to put anything negative towards Diamond Youth Baseball or what their board represents. We're very gracious and very, very thankful of them giving us an opportunity to coach. We just want to give all the options that we can give to all the parents for Amelia County. Whether it be a fee cost that's holding kids back from playing, whether it be they're only practicing once a week, so they're going to other counties you get 3 and 4 practices a week. There's just so many different variables going into what we're trying to do that has nothing to do with we're trying to stop them from doing what they're doing. We just want to bring a different perspective. We want to bring more options, and we definitely want to use Parks and Rec to grow them in a baseball light. They're doing very well with football, basketball, softball, soccer, but there's still no baseball. We just want to bring that to the county for an option, and we really want Michael Coward to be the face of it. I have his back 100% in anything that we can do for Amelia for baseball and for all the kids. And that's just my piece.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
Anybody else want to speak? All right, I'll close the public comment time. Thank y'all for coming out. None of this is on the agenda, so I don't feel we're gonna take any kind of action on anything tonight. But we're gonna move on with the agenda. Thank y'all for coming. Y'all get out of here.
Didn't have enough interest in the county to stick around.
Then I'm gonna add a little discussion. I know it's not on the agenda, but I'm gonna add a little discussion at the end. If y'all want to talk about it again, if y'all want to wait, we'll wait too. Yeah. Up to y'all. I say let it ride like it is.
Because it's not done, so here to discuss.
Huh?
You said you're adding, so it's not really up to it.
No, I said I will add.
Oh.
Are you done, Mr. Roberts?
Let's take care of business. He said he was letting him get out.
Ms. Burley? Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Them other people that come, they don't seem to be as smart as you.
I won't share with them that you said that.
It's on tape, I'm sure. I kept some-
All right, to give an update on this month's activities at our area headquarters. We did begin secondary mowing this past Monday, actually. So this report says later this month. It was submitted a couple weeks ago. Asphalt digouts have been conducted on Parkinson Road and Buckskin Road, and we have a couple more planned upcoming for Lake Chesden Road as well. The pipe replacement on Jetersville Road was completed on Monday, the 22nd. And area headquarters still has brush cutting ongoing on 616 Genito. I apologize because this report is out of date since we submitted it, because surface treatment operations have already begun in Amelia County. I'm sure you all have seen some of that work. And then Obslow Lane hard surfacing is still scheduled for late July into early August. And those are the updates I have for you tonight, unless you have any questions. And then I see you have secondary 6-year plan on your agenda as well, so I'll stick around for that item later on.
Nobody have any questions?
Oh,
I figured you would, Doug.
Yes, sir.
you said that you was gonna fix that collapsed culvert in the spring. And
Yes,
I
sir.
think Summer started this
Okay.
year past week, didn't it?
I just asked them about that location when we were repairing Jetersville Road.
Yeah.
And it sounded like Jetersville Road was more of a safety concern
Well, I
that,
mean, yeah.
but yes, sir,
You had mentioned it, so that's why I brought it.
I did bring it up to them, and they're gonna schedule that work. Yes, sir.
Ms. Worley, while you're here, if the board doesn't have any objections, can we move into the 6-year plan and let her answer any questions so she wants to get home?
Yeah, she's got a new baby.
Not so new. She's 8 months old now.
Right. Gotta get to it, so give me a second. Is there a staff summary on the 6-year plan?
Yes, there is.
Yeah, I think I'll have to go to my book. I'm not having much luck here.
So in the PDF, it's page 116, 100, yes, 116 out of 161.
Okay, that helps a lot. Okay, there it is. All right, gentlemen, you've had this in your book. It's part of the budget process. I think there was only one road that actually met the requirements for the 6-year plan. That was Obslow Lane.
Yes, you all added Obslow last year. So currently that's what we have in your secondary 6-year plan, and it's just confirming the funding for fiscal 27 for that project.
Okay. Gentlemen, what's the board's pleasure on the 6-year plan of adding Obslow Lane to the rural rustic project? Oh, wait, hold on. I got ahead of myself. Does it have any questions about the 6-year plan? All right, hearing none, I'm gonna open a public hearing on a resolution for the VDOT 6-year road resolution. Anybody wishing to speak for or against it, please come up.
We're not changing it. You don't have to have it.
Well, it said public hearing right here. I'm
Yeah.
going by what I got.
But
All right, I'll close the public hearing. What's the board's pleasure?
To adopt the 6-year plan was presented.
All right. Motion on the floor to approve the 6-year plan resolution as presented. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Worley.
Thank
Keep
you.
your early night. And it brings the school.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Mr. Pollitt. We closed our 2025-2026 school year on May 22nd, and at the present time, our summer support program started June 2nd and operates through July 9th. We have approximately 243 students registered. At the June school board meeting, we recognized our high school soccer team for their successful season and for winning James River District. June is the month for federal program grant applications and renewal of other agreements for the upcoming school year. Also during this month, the board sees revised policies following an annual review and new policies based on new requirements from the General Assembly. On June 9th, the school board attended governance training conducted by the Virginia School Board Association, and all board members participated. In your packet, you have the May financial reports, and Mr. Trump will present those.
Dr. Harper, did you you got the May ADM, doesn't the state calculate the ADM at the end of May? Do you have
At
it?
the end of March 31st.
Okay,
That was given in the last,
okay.
I think the last 2 reports.
I thought it was May. Okay, thank you. My mistake. Yeah.
It's like,
Think so.
I think it was like 1483.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Trump.
Good evening. Tonight I'm sharing with you finance reports for May 2026. To be meeting our goals, operating expenditures should be at about 85%, and we are below that number at 79.01%. In the textbook fund, expenditures are at 31.45% of appropriated funds for FY26. Funds 4 and 5 for all-in and construction have expenditures of appropriated funds at 55.84% and 0.25% respectively. The all-in funding balance seems substantial as of the end of May, but Please note that that balance will be fully expended as of June 30th, as that is the end of the all-in program for state purposes. So there will be no all-in carry forward this next fiscal year. In the cafeteria fund, expenditures are at 52.93% for FY '26. Regarding the cafeteria, I do want to thank staff at the James L. Hamner Library, some of the new staff I met just this morning, Parks and Recreation, and the Amelia County Food Pantry for their continued partnership with ACPS Food Service. Through these sites in Amelia County Middle School, we provide hundreds of breakfasts and lunches to the Amelia community each summer, and their efforts are commendable, trying to keep up with the paperwork and all the processes we have to do. Through these sites, a free breakfast and free lunch is available to any child, ACPS student or not, Amelia resident or not, in some form each and every day of the week through mid-July. If you know of anyone in need, I just want to take this platform to make sure we're making people aware of those options. But if you know of anyone in need, please direct them to me, to the library, food pantry, Parks and Rec, and we can find a way to get them the help they need, the help that's available. The best thing I'll say for you all tonight is we have no appropriations to request. That's all.
Okay,
Any questions?
I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to the library staff. Want to give us an update?
How's everybody doing? All right. I'd like the new staff to introduce themselves to everybody.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Darlene Blake Murillo, kind of long, and I am very honored to join the amazing staff over at the James L. Hamner Public Library as their new administrative assistant. Yay me. I bring in 15 plus years of administrative experience, and I am really looking forward to supporting our staff, the patrons, and all the good folks of this community and the important work that we do. I'm looking forward to learning from all of you because everybody has something to contribute, right? And I'm looking forward to contributing to the continued success of the library and in service to all the good folks here in the Amelia County. And thank you all. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You seem really happy.
She's amazing. Hi, everyone.
I'm happy.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Jennifer Hernandez. I'm the new outreach coordinator at the James L. Hamner Library. I'm from Chesterfield County, and I went to school at the University of Richmond. I'm very excited for this new position. I'm already hit the ground running. We have an event tomorrow, actually. It's become really popular. We're actually out of I guess, the materials that we need for the event. So I'm very excited about this new position, very happy to have more events that bring the community together and that bring more patrons into the library. So thank you all so much.
Well, thank you. Welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Hi, my name is Tammy Barber. I'm the new technical services admin for our library. I am originally from East Tennessee. I have my master's degree in materials engineering. I was an engineer for a while and then became a realtor for many years. I was licensed in 3 different states. And then I went and spent 2 years exploring all of Central America and Mexico, all over the place there. So I speak Spanish quite well. Actually, all 3 of us speak Spanish. Just want y'all to know that. When I got back to the States, I moved to Amelia. I live in District 5 over near Manborough. And I was the relationship banker, Truist and Amelia for several years. So I got to know and care for many people in our community. I'm hoping that I'll be able to do the same, get to know more people here. My most recent endeavor, I was part of the commercial lending team for Town Bank for the greater Richmond area. But I'm very happy to be working here in our community. I want to live here. I want to work here. I want to be a part of it. And you guys can come and say hi to us. We welcome everybody to come say hi to us and give us a chance to get settled. We'll show you what we can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
I'm Keith. You guys know who I am, library director for the Hamner Library. So I'm going to talk about some of the programming we got coming up. We got a build a dino workshop tomorrow between 12 and 2 p.m. As Miss Hernandez said, it's pretty much filled up, 40 seats. Kids will be able to customize and stuff their own dinosaur and personalize it for themselves. And that's June 25th at the Hamner Library, actually at Amelia Presbyterian Church. July 14th through the 16th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. The library's hosting an archaeological adventure camp digging through time. In its partnership with AMREV 250 and Brendan Burke. And kids get a chance to do hands-on archaeological digging in real life. We had 140 children sign up for the summer reading program this year. 40 new library card member signups. And then we opened Monday for the first time in a long time. And I believe that Monday is going to be our busiest days of operation, that being with Friday and Saturday, because the traffic's increasing and we've had almost 200 patrons show up on Monday. So there is a need to be open Monday. And we just did a surprise drop when we did that. Let's see, we're increasing our bandwidth from 50 megs to 500. We're getting a firewall and some routers and a network switch to get up to compliance for E-rate. And then I did a town hall Monday, June 15th for the accessibility grant, transforming rural library communities. And I've gotten feedback from that. We were awarded the $10,000. It's been deposited. So I'm going to hit the ground running with the grant and order handicap accessible furniture. And that's it for my report.
Sound like a lot of good things are going on over there.
Thank you. Yes, we're moving fast now, aggressive.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, that brings us to the sheriff's office has some Baycorp funds. We need to approve.
What's the criteria for these not being in the, like in the block at the beginning? What's the for approval?
For the consent agenda? So looking back through recent finance items, these have been in the action items section.
Do y'all want to move them to the consent agenda each time? It's never been officially.
I thought we'd talk.
Well, being it's here, we've got 3.
I'd be glad to do that going forward.
We'll just deal with these 3.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got to deal with 3 regardless.
All right. I've got the figures.
Motion we go pass the 3 and over the block.
Okay, motion on the floor to pass the 3 refund or fund claims from the insurance from Baycorp. I'll add the figures to your motion, Mr. Jones.
Yeah.
First one is $2,174.98. Second one is $2,713. And the third one is $3,672.65. And these are Baycorp refund, I guess. Well, not refund, but fund checks for wrecked cars.
Sure.
Any more discussion?
I think you need to don't take it serious. Some of these deputies need to go driving school. They turn up vehicles like this. But I know some things aren't preventable,
Yeah.
especially when deer run out of brain.
Any more discussion, gentlemen? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Does it need to be in a motion to make this a consent agenda, or is that just a group of things?
If you got a consent, we'll just make sure we get in the consent
Okay.
agenda. All right, gentlemen, that brings us to fiscal year 27 budget resolution. We've been back and forth on this, many work sessions. We've had discussions on it. What's the board's pleasure?
Well, we gotta fix that airplane misprint.
It's
already in.
it's right.
Yeah, it's in the resolution.
So we don't have to deal with it?
It's right there.
Okay,
Yep, that was corrected.
all right.
I move we adopt the FY 27 budget resolution as presented.
All right, there's a budget on the floor to adopt the budget resolution for fiscal year 2027. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr. Chairman, may I say something?
Sure.
Last week, we had a meeting for public comment on the budget. It was that many people showed up. Shows how much concern the citizens have on how their tax money is being spent in this county. And when we sometimes, whether we have to or whatever, raise taxes, we catch a lot of grief. I'm not for raising no taxes, but if you don't come in and state your reason why you're against this, you have no reason to fuss about this. And that's just my 2 cents worth.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
I do agree with you. There's very.
Ridiculous.
there's-
Nobody showed
there's
up.
Very little involvement. Well, there's some reasons for some of that, but there's very little involvement in general. And I
Ain't nothing but.
definitely share that concern for sure. I do have a strong concern that we keep saying there's no raised taxes this year when there are close to $300,000 of new taxes this year in there. I think,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a user's tax. You don't have to pay it.
nonetheless, it is a very unclear statement to be headlined.
Okay. Y'all had the community development report. Any questions about that? I think the biggest one I look at is the animal shelter is well underway.
Thank God.
Environmental DMV reports, you've all had those. Eric, you want to give your report real quick?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So the monthly host fee amount and the letters included in the community development report, it's $220,249.13.
Okay.
And like you mentioned, the animal shelter project is going away very smoothly. Daryl seems to be very pleased with the contractors that are doing the job. And we're working with the EDA on transfer of ownership for the GBC building. So staff's helping out the EDA with that process. And other than that, that's all I have for you. Unless the board has any questions for me.
Okay. We'll move on. All right, brings us to CIP cleanup items. You got any discussion on that?
Yes, sir. So Craig Meadows is here from the Berkeley Group to answer any questions you have. What he presented last month was at one of our work sessions outlined, we had some projects that funds were being expended that we didn't budget for due to just not rolling over those funds from fiscal year 25 to 26. And so this is to clean that up.
Okay. These were already budgeted. Did I hear that right?
No, these were not budgeted,
Not-
but we
okay.
were expending funds in those line items
Okay.
to finish out those projects.
Anybody got any questions? All right.
Let's read this again, because I'm not really sure why so what's the,
If it wasn't allocated for the CIP project,
right?
then how did it happen? I mean, are these over budgeted? Underfunded? What's the scoop? That's not what I was told.
Or did we forget to carry them forward?
I don't know. That's the question.
These were active projects in 25 and the funds were not rolled over into 26.
But we don't ever roll over individual CIP items. The board doesn't.
In the past, it has been in your budget resolutions, I believe. So when you adopt your budget in prior years, it had language that
Covered
rolled
it.
forward unspent CIP funds. I think that had been done, and maybe that didn't happen last year.
That's correct.
Yes, that's correct. And then Jeff and I had worked on making sure the language was included in this year's resolution to make sure this doesn't happen going forward.
So we're not spending new money then. That's
It sounds like a technical.
yeah.
Yes, this is
it's
a
an
technical
accounting mistake.
It's a budgeting adjustment to match those funds to the projects that had been previously initiated.
Okay.
And the funds are in the CIP fund.
Well, so this looks like rather than cleanup, this is just correction for those 4. When is the rest of the cleanup going to be done for the reconciliation of all the other CIP projects? So how do you know the other ones weren't done? We're still waiting on all that reporting to say which ones have leftover money and all that kind of stuff.
So that was covered in the presentation
It was,
previously.
and it said you'd be coming back to us with the details though, right? You said you were working on it.
So this is the follow-up item.
You're saying, well, that's not answering all the original questions we had.
So what additional questions do you have that are?
We talked about, we asked for all the detail for all of the open CIP items and what were the remaining balances in them.
Okay. So if it's further down the
in
staff
here.
report after the appropriation form,
Right.
there's the spreadsheet there and that's what we have listed. And it has kind of a status for.
But that's not back, that's just the current one stuff. Those don't go back to all the previous ones, do they?
It's got some that's been completed, so I was
How
expecting.
far back did you take it?
So Craig, do you want to talk to some of the specifics about this?
Good evening, folks. Mr. Easter, to answer your question, I think when we pulled together the list of all the CIP projects, which was what we presented back on April 29th, those are all the projects that the county is aware of that are outstanding as CIP projects. If they've been projects prior to that, there's no record of funds being appropriated for those. So the first thing we did is we tried to identify everything.
I'm sorry, can you pause? Because we've had CIP going for 50, decades. So you can't have done, you didn't go back that many decades, did you?
No, we went back 1 year because that's all the information we have.
Okay.
And I think that speaks to.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's a big
clarify
difference
that,
than what I was asking.
So we did send you the last 3 or 4 years worth of budget resolutions to see what projects were from the past, and you had kind of reconciled that.
What we did is we reconciled the fund balance to the end. We tied it to the June 30th, 25. Yeah, the June 30th, 25 audit report, which had the CIP balance as 12,524,605. So that was the funds beginning fiscal year 26 that were totally available for your capital projects. Then we listed out the CIP projects that we were aware of, and those projects totaled $4,403,398. And some of those are in various stages of work. Some of them have not been started yet. But as we did that, we also discovered there were additional funds needed, and that's what your cleanup item is tonight. They were projects that had been in prior years, but they did not have fund balance appropriated for them in fiscal 26. So that's what's in front of you tonight, is to clear up those outstanding expenses. But that's everything that, if you will, that's on the books for the county's CIP projects. If there's projects that have been done in the past, the funding has rolled into that CIP fund balance that's available for future projects. So what we try
Of course, if the projects have been completed, I'm sure they were paid for, so that money has
yes,
been allocated and used for that project.
That's correct. If projects were completed and they came in under the budgeted amount, then that remainder rolled into the CIP fund balance.
Okay.
Is there any CIP projects that's older than a year that hasn't been completed, or the funds are still in limbo?
Yeah, I got a good example for that. So the VDOT sidewalk project.
Other than that one, yeah, that's pretty, because that's dealing with the state on part of that.
Well, I know your radio upgrade project.
And the broadband.
Yeah, the broadband's another one that's been out there for a while. But as we worked on reconciling those things, there was, as Jeff said, there was no money appropriated specifically for those projects rolling into fiscal year 26.
I know the wellhead protection, that's
been there a while.
that's been there a while,
Yeah.
but it really hasn't come to a
Well,
point where we can.
I heard him answer Joseph just a year, and I saying, wait a minute, well, we got 2 or 3 years.
I
and that
know,
whole
I find it
problem.
I find it very confusing.
What we tried really hard to do was get your CIP projects outlined and identified. So at the end of this fiscal year, you know, the projects that are out there, the projects that have funding remaining for those projects, and then you can begin to move forward. I'm not aware of any other capital projects that aren't on that list that was shared with you.
And that page here shows what was allocated or budgeted and then what's been spent. Well, if it's all been spent, it's got complete on the side.
Yes, sir. There's a few that are completed.
And it is some that are on hold.
Well, I think the challenge for quite a few of the projects is just having the staff capacity to get them done.
That's right.
So what, for example, does it mean if one's complete, like the 6 new batting cages, complete, spent less than budgeted, and yet you're carrying forward money?
That money is there. If that money is not needed, if the project's completed, that money will fall into fund balance at year end.
It rolls back in there.
No, the whole purpose of this project was really to get a handle on what you have appropriated, what projects you have out there. So as you go forward, you can keep a much better track of what you've got out there available. That was the biggest thing I think we were missing as we were looking at it and Daryl has been a huge help, because Daryl's a walking history book with all the things that have gone on, but we're just trying to get it to a point so moving forward, you can clearly articulate what your projects are and how much you've got available to work on them.
Well, we will find that out shortly, because it's in its own account.
Yep.
So once we go through the funny money, we'll be in that one. And then we'll know exactly what we got.
I think it's a whole lot better than it was. I mean, we've got numbers now. Now, some of them projects did get done and contractors got paid and we moved on.
Craig, what was that overall CIP fund balance number that you presented to us?
It was,
Even if it's just an approximate.
Well, what we estimated, even with this cleanup adjustment that you're making this evening, you'll have approximately 11.2 million. That's an estimate based on at the end of the year. You'll have 11.2 million available for appropriation in future years. And that's before the 2 million for a year that comes in from waste management for the solid waste fee. So when you end this year, after everything washes out and the audit's done, you should have about 11.2 million in that fund balance moving forward.
Well, and I guess that is what I was originally looking for when we started, is not having the sense in the past of how much is actually spoken for of that. Okay. All right. I think
that helpful?
Yeah, I think we're getting there, Ben. It would be helpful. So will this report, you know, specifically looking in the electronic one, be clear this, pages 80 and 81.
Yes, sir.
What will be the frequency at which we get this report going forward? Not the column for carry forward, because that's only applicable for one time, but the, you know, updated year to date spent and the status.
Status.
The spend number and the status. Yeah. Well,
I think that's something that, I mean, I'll kind of throw it up to the group. What are y'all's preference? Monthly, quarterly? You know, we kind of have a brief 1 or 2 word description for where we're at with some of these projects.
I would think quarterly.
Yeah, well, I was going to say
Quarterly.
I think it's
for what it's worth, I was
going
going to suggest quarterly because that's what I've seen other communities
It's not
do.
gonna
for their-
change that much. Yeah.
No, I mean, and the key, and you're asking some good questions. The key is, number one, to monitor the progress of the projects, because if you've got things on a list that just don't ever move, then you need to ask, why are they on the
Exactly.
list? And then secondly, if they're moving and completed, you can start getting an idea of how much money will be left.
that's the two things. All right. That's the 2 things I was going to ask for changes for the future report then, is for any statuses that change from, you know, the next, let's say on the next report, then I think we need to, you know, find some way of highlighting that they've had a status change, so we can call out whatever, or maybe we just do 2 columns, you know, status last report, status current report.
Activity.
Actually, let's do that. And then I think we need a column based on like what Dexter and I are asking. I think we need a column for the year that it was approved. So you've got a good header, you know, on the second page for FY27. Be easy to drop that into a column for all of those, but we need to go back to these ones on the first page and
Year of origination.
the
Yeah.
year of origin. I think just the years. I mean, we don't need to, it's just whatever year.
Sure.
Eric,
Yes, sir.
we got 2 courthouse projects.
Mhm.
One's the windows, which is 60,000. Then we got a renovation, 156,000. Just what does that renovation encompass?
Excellent question. So you hit on the first one, the windows, and then the courthouse renovation. That's where the old clerk's office was. So that's open space there.
Gotcha.
And then working
Yeah.
on the judge's project for him. So we've reached out to them in the last week or so to set up a meeting to get that started here later this summer as well.
And that's gonna be for the judge, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I appreciate Joseph's feedback on the report and be glad to make those changes, and hope that that'd be helpful for y'all, for us providing information for progress going forward.
So what does it mean if one doesn't have a budget? So like, why does the phase 1 of VDOT not have a budget? And like the broadband project not having a budget?
Well, that's what we're cleaning up tonight, because those projects apparently carried forward from the past and had expenditures, but there was no money carried forward in this year's CIP appropriation to cover those.
But VDOT's not listed on the page with the where it says we need to do the cleanup.
So look at that.
It's page 77. That's why I couldn't correlate those.
And that's phase 1 of the sidewalk project.
And so, I mean, that's why it's not correlating to me. So there's only 2 that don't have a budget listed. One of them is not listed in the cleanup memo. But the memo says there's 4. So if there's 4, then there should be 4 without a budget, if that's the case.
So the report that's, yeah, so listed here on that first page, this is the, says the capital improvement projects, the one that has
Yeah.
26 and the other one 27. So yes, that'll be at the, once you guys approve this, that's what the status of the project will be, that specific line. Let me
Yeah, I'm
pull up
not-
the monthly financial.
Yeah, I'm
report.
not seeing that on the. Because everything we identified that had expenditures in this fiscal year that had not been previously appropriated were just the county broadband, county radio system upgrade, and yeah, for those.
What's the list on? What's your, because that's the other thing. It says there's 4 capital projects and then it's bullet points and it lists 3.
There was a miscoding. Originally, when we did the worksheet, there were 4. There was a coding error for a Painville Fire Station edition that came out, so that's why there's only 3 in the appropriate.
So it is only 3?
There is only 3, yes, sir.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
That's fine. Okay. But those don't correlate to the spreadsheet having the gaps. They're not the ones that have the gap. Well, one is, but one's not. And so that's a different reason. And so then the reason you don't need to approve the rest of them is because of the carry forward is because you did include the line.
You took care of that you took care of that in the fiscal 26 appropriation. At the beginning, last year at budget time, you had those items covered. It was during the course of the year that we realized these others had expenditures but didn't have coverage with the budget.
Well, I think it was Dexter brought up or David brought up the wellhead. So why is the wellhead one not covered by that then? The wellhead one existed long before last year, so it wouldn't have been carried forward.
Well, there was $105,000 budgeted for that through the fiscal 26 appropriation. Now, there's not been any money spent in that, so at the end of the year, that one's still carrying $105,000 balance.
I think it's some ordinance work has to be done in that too, that we haven't got to yet. I mean, I think they done all the B&B has done all they can do.
Well, I'm not asking about there's no progress in it. That has nothing about that. You're saying we need to carry forward this money because last year's budget didn't include language to carry it forward. But we just identified other older CIPs like the wellhead production.
No, the language in your budget that you adopted for fiscal 26 included $4,403,398 for capital projects, which did bring forward the funding for some of those older projects.
And just left some of them.
For some
But
reason, those.
Some were
Yes,
missed.
there are 3 that were missed, and that's what we're cleaning up with this tonight.
Yeah.
We're trying, I think we're trying to fix that, Mr. Chair, in the budget resolution that's before you will be, I think, right, Eric?
That they just voted on, yeah.
Clearly, oh, you already voted on.
Yeah,
See, you're paying attention.
I mentioned that at the beginning.
Gosh, and we're paying you?
So that, Joseph, as far
Where's
as the.
yeah, point to the language that fixes it. Point to the language that fixes it now.
Oh, on to that in just a second. So
Yeah.
the VDOT phase 1, so this is staff put together report.
Yeah.
Let me look into that and follow up with y'all with an email, because
I assume it just needs to be filled in. I assume it's just the same amount as carried over is the budget amounts. On that one, that would feel like it just needs to be filled in the other column, and probably the same thing for the broadband one too, would be my guess.
So as far as your question is in going back to the.
Is it
the item?
Number 3?
Yes.
So all unencumbered appropriations will last for budget items other than capital projects and federal or state funded. Is that where that fixes it, Jeff?
Yes, section 2 and 3.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for too.
So you have the language saying other than capital projects. So then any previously appropriated or designated funding for approved capital projects that remain unexpended shall automatically carry forward until okay.
And I don't know how your budget resolutions have been in prior, well, I do, I looked at several of them. that language is traditionally in all local government budget resolutions because capital projects sometimes take
They do take
years.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, you know, once that money's
Right. That
appropriated.
paragraph deals with it
Yes.
well going forward.
Yeah, section 2 and section 3 say
Yeah.
that.
All right.
And again, you can always change your mind. So unless you.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, right. Yeah, yeah,
That'll be the default.
right. Okay. All right, thanks. I know I had a lot of questions on that, but I will, so thank you for walking through. Therefore, happy to make a motion on it. I'll get back to that.
Appreciate your interest in all the questions. So
Yeah.
good feedback.
I'm glad you got it resolved. I think this has been long outstanding. Thank you for your work on it.
Absolutely.
Appreciate that very much. All right, I will move to approve the appropriations as presented for these 3 items: county broadband, county radio system upgrade design, county radio system upgrade, for the amounts listed in the report.
All right, motion on the floor. Any discussion? Ms. Eason, can I add that I've got the total right here. Can I add that to your motion?
It's completely unnecessary, but go for
The
it.
the total amount of the items that were 930,562.76. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Thank you guys for the opportunity to help you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hard work. Yep. Well, thank Daryl too. Well, Daryl disappeared. But I couldn't have done that without Daryl. There was a whole lot of pieces that had to be pulled together and Daryl was great. Appreciate all you do.
Thank
All right, thank you.
Thank you. See you.
All right, moving on along, meals tax, October 1st. Gotta have a public hearing on this ordinance. Any discussion before open the public hearing? I'll open the public hearing on the start of the meals tax, October 1st. Projected amounts were already approved in the budget or used in the budget. Anybody wishing to speak for or against this, please come up and state your name and address. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing on the meals tax. What's the board's pleasure?
Before we proceed any further, Mr. Chairman, wasn't it what am I looking for? We were gonna use the revenue off of the meals tax for EMS, fire department, et cetera, right? For that.
It was talked about, I don't know.
Purpose of this,
Is just for the general fund.
Just general.
but now we're going to general fund instead of stating that this is only for that.
It's just general fund, correct?
Yeah.
As part of the
Okay.
general fund, you guys do
Well, I know
provide
that
that
they get
service.
back to general.
Right, because because it doesn't matter whether you call it for one thing or not anyway.
Well,
It all goes into the same bucket.
it's a better way to sell it by
I know.
doing that.
Well,
Yeah.
Speaking of which, that'll be my only comment for the night. You won't be surprised. I'm gonna vote against it. Y'all already know my feeling. But my comment will be, we all agreed when we voted for it in the first place that we would only implement this, that we were only passing it at that time because that year's budget was anticipated to have a shortfall and that we would roll it back. And we made a verbal promises here in public to the citizens that we would do so if it was not needed for that year's budget, which was anticipated to have a shortfall, and turned out never did have a shortfall because it was accounting problems. So I'm not going to go back on my word to the citizens on that.
Well, with the projection of the amounts, it helped us balance the budget this year. So that's. And I'm like, it's a user's tax. I mean, it's a lot of people that travel in throughout the county that's gonna help us out. Anyway, what's the board's pleasure?
I won't be shy. I'll move to adopt the ordinance as presented.
All right, motion on the floor to adopt the meals tax ordinance starting October of this year. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? All right. Motion carries.
You had two options. Either you go raise taxes or you do a meals tax. That was your two options. When the state,
And this is raising tax, and to be clear, this is raising.
no, you don't have to go out and eat. Do you have to go eat at a restaurant?
You don't have to buy.
We've had our
bigger
discussion on
houses,
this.
et cetera.
I know we.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
We're not talking about bigger houses.
All right, we've had our discussion. We voted on it. Public hearing on employee bonuses. This is something we did the same thing last year. We had to do a resolution.
Yeah.
Have you got any extra on this, Eric?
Nothing new to report since the last meeting.
Okay. What's the board's pleasure?
It's gotta go to public hearing, doesn't it?
That's right. I'll open the public hearing at this time on employee bonuses that would take effect in June 30th of this year. Anybody wishing to speak for or against it, please come up, state your name and address. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the board's pleasure?
Move to approve the ordinance as presented.
Motion on the floor to approve the employee bonuses as presented. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. What'd you do?
I'm gracious. Didn't like it, but I'm.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. All right. Fire chief information options. We talked about this a month or two ago, and we asked staff to bring us back some options. You've had those in front of you. I think it's pretty laid out, the cost and the services it will provide from the Berkeley Group. What's the board's pleasure? Got any questions?
And this was for hiring a full-time fire chief, right?
It's hiring an interim
Or interim.
fire chief to hopefully get us in a position where we can move forward with a fire chief in the future.
I'll make a motion that we proceed with this.
Okay. A motion on the floor to proceed with the implementation of an interim fire chief. Any discussion?
So, Mr. Chair, the motion that's in the packet is just authorization for me to execute the contract.
Right. Just clarifying, that's
Yeah,
his motion. Just clarifying, that's his motion.
That's his
is to
motion to
execute the Contract.
Okay.
Yes. I agree.
All right. Motion on the floor to execute, had the administrator execute the contract.
Funding is in the budget for this.
Yes.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries.
Gentlemen?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Should start tomorrow.
We did have a projected start date, I should say, in there. It was later in June.
Yeah, we're blown by that.
All right, moves us on.
I'll say no start date.
Brings us to new business. Public hearing on the lodging tax ordinance. Or was transiency occupancy tax. You've had this in front of you. We talked about it during the budget time. Definitions. Any questions for open the public hearing? At this time, I open the public hearing on the lodging tax. Take effect October 1st. 2026. Anybody wishing to speak for or against it, please come up, state your name and address. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Board members have any questions for staff?
I have one.
Okay.
So Jeff, I remember the parts related to this for, say, short-term rentals, the Airbnb, et cetera. Are we now caught up on all the other ordinances necessary to implement this?
I think so. I think, so this would apply to those.
Yeah,
So it's anyone under 30-day stay. I think,
Right.
So TOT applies. So, the only thing we haven't brought forward that has been discussed is if you want to have some sort of specifically to short-term rentals, is if you want to have a, like a license and registry process.
Well, that's exactly what I'm thinking about. I
Yeah.
don't know how in the world we're going to implement this if we have no idea who's renting out.
And that's sort of one reason behind doing that. I mean, I can tell you that anyone who uses the national platforms, VRBO, Airbnb, they pay. That they have the infrastructure and the mechanism to remit the tax. If that locality has imposed it,
Yeah.
those people will pay it automatically.
Mhm.
That's my understanding from other localities that
Yeah, I
have
think you're
this.
right. I think you're right
So it
too.
would be, and that's something you can talk more about, whether you feel like there's a gap there that is hard to police, for lack of a better word. If it's
I
not,
can think of several just in the courthouse area that don't use those platforms that rent for short periods of time. And so I don't know how we're going to know about them and then be able to do the follow-up, et cetera. I think it's gonna be hard.
Well, I think we talked about doing a registry too.
That's what, that
It
is.
would-
Well, I mean, a county registry, so we gotta
That's-
build,
that
we
is
gotta
what-
build that, but as we build
so
it,
that'd be another ordinance. I think we took it as our task to get this in place first, but yeah, that's something we can bring to you. Examples of how other localities do it. Whether there's a specific licensure or just a registry, whether there's a permit, there's a host of options you can do to get at your concern.
Yeah.
So that's not before you. We have not prepared that.
Right.
But we have time because this doesn't take effect till October. If you
We'll have to see.
if you adopt
It's not a lot of, to be fair, it's not a lot of time
Not a lot.
for the citizens who would then need to register and start paying, collecting and start paying. I mean, it's
And we
very
can
short
build, you
period of
can
time.
build some flexibility into that ordinance,
So that there is business license that would be required for this as
Already.
well. Yeah.
already or
Well,
added.
If they meet the threshold.
they would have to be making I mean, they would be.
25,000.
Yeah, no, it's most people would not be meeting this criteria for business license.
So
The ones that I know of would not be meeting the criteria for this. I mean, we've even got gun shops in the county that don't meet the criteria for business license.
So the largest revenue generator, I think, probably has a business license that would qualify for this tax. And like Jeff had mentioned, this is something you guys move forward with it tonight. We can get something in July
Oh,
or August.
the hotel, no problem. But we talk all the time about it's got to be fair across the board. I mean, it's not just because the big one up the road is easy to see and snag. We got to make sure everyone is then pay. If it's out there and you got to pay it, everybody's got to pay it. That's the only way it's fair.
Cause it's getting to be more and more on these Airbnbs.
There are. And by the way, that is a problem. The business license thing is definitely a problem. We keep talking to more and more businesses and they're like, oh no, I don't need a license because they're not qualifying for business licenses around here. And they're doing plenty of business. We have not changed our thresholds in so long.
I thought it was 2,500 for a business license.
Nope.
No, it's 25,000.
Okay, well,
But isn't that state mandated?
might be.
I think it's state mandated.
There's two issues, the license and the tax. So sometimes they're conflated, especially for small revenue producers.
Yeah.
The license, there might be no tax on top of the license,
Correct.
depending on how you tier the revenue thresholds.
Exactly.
But the license typically is required of any business that falls under the ordinance. Whereas, so that's a nominal fee, $50 or $30
Yeah,
or something.
That's
But
right.
the tax is based on gross receipts. According to your
But
ordinance.
we don't have something that says all businesses have to have.
So we can look at that.
Yeah.
too.
I mean, we don't. So you only have,
So it's a tier to even require the
correct.
license. Okay.
Correct. Yep.
So we can look at that.
So that's something we can work on over the next couple of months
Yeah.
before this takes effect October 1st. And sounds like there's a fairly small number of folks that we would need to contact to notify them of this coming up in October 1st.
Okay. What's the board's pleasure?
I don't think we have it figured out. So I'm gonna vote against it.
I think we have to have a start date to say we're gonna start it, and then we can make adjustments on. But it's worked, the figure is worked into the budget for this, so I think we need to at least move forward with it and start figuring it out.
I move to adopt the occupancy ordinance as presented.
All right, motion on the floor to approve the occupancy ordinance as presented. Any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed?
Mr. Chair, I did want to make one clarification that's on the website for business license. So it says 2,500 gross receipts.
That's on.
And then 25,000 for contractors.
But it's only those specific types of businesses, right? It's not any business.
Yes, it's how the ordinance lays it out.
Well, there's a lot of misunderstandings throughout, I would say, and how that's being.
So my
It'd
takeaway
be
from
good follow-up.
takeaway consensus from the board is y'all would like to have some sort of registry program in place for this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a business. I don't see anybody can run a business without a license anyhow.
Well,
Insurance.
registry is different than license. Registry would be, it could help create a license, a registry if you have
Correct.
specific licensure required. Registry would be just like a list.
Of who to look for. Oh,
Yeah, right. Someone would basically have to, it'd probably involve a permit or an application if you're gonna do this kind of business.
Yeah.
You're gonna do that and. Yeah, like Austin already knows all
Let me
that.
just say something that might help. A registry in a lot of localities typically to help track for zoning regulation and following up on them meeting the requirements of, number of people staying in the house. I think the purpose of registry is more for the tracking of it for that they're meeting the zoning regulations for short-term rental more so than the tracking for the taxing purposes of it. I think that's
Because
more
if I,
than what a
because if I
registry
rent out, I may not have doing it as a business, so I don't need a business license, but if I'm just meeting some of these criteria, I might still have to have to track and submit the taxes, so it needs to be registered, but I may not be running a business per se.
Yeah, I think probably needs to check on the thresholds for a business license.
Right.
My take would be usually registries in other localities are for tracking more to make sure they're meeting the regulations more than the tax part of it. Just want to make that clear.
Right.
Don't want to create a separate registry if a business license already tracked that also, just extra work for staff, duplicating efforts. Don't want to create that if it's not necessary. So I think as talked about more, probably follow up on the business license exact thresholds and then see if anything's needed beyond that to help track would be my suggestion.
Is Austin gonna be the policeman that goes around and enforce this?
We
don't enforce our other zoning requirements and things like that, so.
Well, these are by right, short-term rentals are by right use. So from a zoning perspective, they would.
Yeah, this changed.
Just need to get their permit. There's not.
I mean, we've got people living in campers all over, we don't enforce any of that, that's not allowed. You've got one right across from the from the administration office that we don't enforce.
Yeah, it's not just that, it's other things too.
Yep.
All right, that brings us to the utility fee increases. We talked about this during budget. Any just questions for open the public hearing? I'm gonna open the public hearing on the water and sewer fees increases. Anybody wishing to speak for or against, please come up. State your name and address. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the board's pleasure?
Move to adopt the ordinances as presented.
All right, motion on the floor to approve the water and sewer fees as presented. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? All right, animal control fees. There was some discussion on some of the fees that might have been a little low. Some changes were made in them. Any questions for open the public hearing?
I have one for Jeff. So we had moved a couple of years back to where fees for most things were not, water and sewer separate, I'm talking about that one, but where most fees were not in ordinances and did not require all these public hearings. Why are we still doing that here for the animals?
So some of the animal fees are by state law require an ordinance.
And all of these
I don't
particularly
know if
are?
all of them do, some of them do.
Mhm.
And so I think we just thought, since some of them do, just put them all in there.
Okay.
And then, but yeah, you're right. A lot of like building code,
Yeah.
parks and rec, whole host of fees, county can just do on a fee schedule.
Right.
But yeah, this is state law, and I know kennel fees, and I think adoption fees, there's a handful of these that the state animal laws require. an
That's fine.
ordinance.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
that's why. Good question.
All right, at this time, I open the public hearing on the animal control fees. Anybody wishing to speak for or against it, please come up. State your name and address. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the board's pleasure?
I'll make a motion to adopt the ordinance as presented.
All right, motion on the floor to adopt the ordinance as presented. Any more discussion?
Just a quick question, and it's my fault. I should have called you before. What were the fees before? Do you mind giving me those two, or do you have them off the top of your head, Brian? If not, I'll get them from you later. I'm just being nosy. All right, I'll get them from you later.
It was in
Thank
a previous, yeah, it was in our previous.
Yeah, it was in a previous report. I can follow up and send that to you.
That was my fault. I meant to ask him earlier and I forgot, so sorry about that.
Okay. All in favor, raise your hand. All opposed? Motion carries.
We move on to that one question.
Sure.
Eric, could you do a follow-up of how much has been collected in the past year on having the no rabies tag and separately the no county tag? Speaking of enforcement, I'm interested in how much we're enforcing those two items.
So no rabies
and no county tags.
Sure.
Thanks.
All right, that brings us to the environmental fees. Got any questions on those? We'll open the public hearing. I'll open the public hearing on the environmental fees. Anybody wishing to speak for or against it, please come up and state your name and address. Seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. What's the board's pleasure?
Move to adopt the ordinance as presented.
Motion on the floor to adopt the ordinance as presented on the environmental fees. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen. We took the We've already done the 6-year plan. How about the battery storage text amendment? We heard that in the planning commission?
Sorry, so before we transition out fees, and I have one more question.
Sure.
So there were no fee changes other than the ones required by ordinances this year? Like they didn't do general, like we were talking about for the regular fee schedule and things like that. Not a single department changed any fees other than those required to ordinance.
Yes, everything that was changed going into next year is on the agenda tonight.
Please state, I find that disappointing. Move on.
Okay. What's the board's pleasure on the? I don't have to hold a public hearing, do it, Jeff. We already had that. All right, what's the board's pleasure on the battery storage text amendment? It was recommended by the planning commission.
To accept the recommendation from the planning commission about the battery storage, is that good enough?
Approve the ordinance as proposed.
Okay. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Say it again.
Move to approve the ordinance as proposed.
All right, motion on the floor to approve the battery storage text amendment ordinance as presented. Any more discussion? All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. All right. That brings us to the end. We still need to go in closed session, folks. Well, you want to run through your comments?
Yeah, do that and then roll on.
Yes, sir, Mr. Robinson, whatever you say. You go first.
I don't want to go first.
Sorry, you spoke up.
No, you said I can do whatever I want.
Ma'am.
All right. I'm gonna vent a little bit. I got a problem with the state is what I got a problem with.
Don't we all?
They dictating what we do. That's why we're doing here with the battery storage, the solar. They dictate everything that we have to do. I mean, why even have a county if the states would dictate everything? Let them just take it all over.
Give them time.
Yeah. There'll be a line somewhere. That's all I got to say. I had to get that off.
I'm glad you got that off.
It irritates me.
Joseph, can you top out?
No.
I agree. I agree with him. So, and now I'll just move on then. I'll let his comments speak.
Dexter?
Okay, I had a CRC meeting. And I had several things here affect Amelia, and one of them is they're having a PDC finding funding workshop at Hampton, Sydney on August the 12th. And they highly recommended that the county administrator or board members attend this because it could be very beneficial to findings and helping us in the county. And the CRC had a meeting with the OAA. Here we go again. I ain't got a clue what that is. And Jeff Martin for Mino Life.
That's the opioid.
The opioids, okay. In progress is a safer grant for Amelia County Emergency Management. And one of the projects they got going on is research grant for opportunities to vet potential grant applications for the following agencies, and Amelia's on that list. Hope that everyone's going to have a safe 4th of July coming up. Please be safe. Watch your driving. And everyone had a nice Father's Day. Because I had the sorest one I ever had. Because I found out Saturday that my father had died.
Oh. All right.
And so they hit hard. And that I just, if your dad's still alive, you need to go hug him. Tell him you love him. Because I didn't get that opportunity. And that's all I got to say.
Sorry to hear that, Dexter. Mr. Morris?
Wow. Great, same thing. Safe travels, happy fourth. Sorry to hear about that next there and
Like that.
ditto. Hope you had a good Father's Day and appreciate fathers. And if, like I said, if you've got one, make sure you reach out to them if you haven't. I do have a quick question for my last statement. With that earlier, that does that fall on us about the discussion in public, or that's not has nothing to do with us, or do we push look into that?
Do what?
What the whole ball thing? That doesn't. What do we do with that? I don't know. Anyway, I don't.
Not on our current agenda.
It's not on the agenda.
Okay, so that's something that has to come to us, or doesn't go to us?
No, we don't make decisions about individual programs.
Yeah, I
Parks
don't-
and Rec office.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. Library kind of, they presented, so I'll skip that one. And I have emergency services meeting tomorrow, so that's it.
That's all?
Yeah.
You sure? All right, we had 47 residents in the Piedmont Regional Jail this last month, so
That's up.
that is, people need to start acting right.
Getting hot.
The lower number, the less money we had to pay that, so.
Exactly.
Wish everybody happy fourth, and that's all I got. So I do need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Well, you gotta-
Pursuant to Virginia Code Section 2.23711A1 to discuss administrator's performance evaluation
And we have another personnel issue. Can we add to that?
and another matter regarding specific personnel.
Yeah. All right, y'all got your motion?
So moved.
All in favor? Raise your hand.
Oh, Lord.
I need a motion to come back into
We're good?
open session.
We're good. All right, we're good.
Well, you don't, but.
It'll be all right. It'll be all right.
All right, motion to come back.
You
You want to read it? You want to say it?
We are in open session.
Yeah, I know,
Mr.
there we go.
Chair. We can do
Yes.
one vote, and that's
That's all.
we need a motion to certify the only items discussed in closed session with those identified in the motion and permitted under the Freedom of Information Act. Motion and roll call.
All right, Mr. Robinson.
We need a motion.
I'll sort of, okay. I'll make a motion.
That's the motion. So
Okay,
moved.
so moved. And I certify.
I certify.
I certify.
I certify.
I certify.
All right, back in open session. We got one item. Mr. Easter, you want to make a motion?
Yes, following our discussion we've had last month and this month, we have provided Eric with a performance review, and as a result of that, make a motion for that we motion covering two items. One is we increase compensation about 4.5%. That's equal to the salary adjustments that were given to all county employees last year. But due to Eric's newness in role at that time, we didn't offer it then. So we'll catch him up to the same increase that all employees were given at that time. And then we'll offer an additional 40 hours accrual to his annual leave bank as well. And in addition to the standard accrual that already exists. And then not really for voting, but just an acknowledgement that we're continuing to support your training and conference attendance as we have. Thank you.
All right, motion on the floor. Any more discussion? All in favor of the motion, raise your hand.
Oh,
No, I was just gonna say in the discussion part.
Sorry.
Yeah, wanted to just say thank you all for, and it's been a little bit over a year, and have really enjoyed working with y'all and getting to know y'all, and I feel like we're heading the right direction, and just want to continue to do that and appreciate y'all's support.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, raise your hand. All righty.